What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So we're going to do a stimulus package, stimulus check update. And boy, do I have a video for you guys today. Shepard Smith on CNBC interviewed Joe Manchin, and it was crazy. It was the best interview that I've seen so far when it comes to this stimulus package. I mean, Shepard Smith went after him. Rightfully so. Now, Joe Manchin, he is a part of the Gang of Eight, a part of the bipartisan group that's trying to get this $908 billion proposal through. And so we're going to take a look and listen. And I have some stuff that I want to add when it comes to how this interview went. But it was very, very good. All right. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. All right, so we're going to get right to it, and here we go.
Bipartisan group of senators, as I mentioned, just finished a meeting on this very subject. Senator Joe Manchin was in it. He's a member of this Gang of Eight, the author of a bipartisan $908 billion stimulus plan. Senator, before we get started, quickly, did anything change in the meeting?
Well, Shepard, we're working hard. We really are. We know they said the two things that we've punted. We haven't punted on anything. We're the only game in town. We're still meeting day and night, every day and night for the last 3.5 weeks.
It's all Washington talk. You said earlier.
Now, you hear Shepard Smith. So Joe Manchin saying we're working hard. We're doing this. And we all know, like, we've been following this for 7 months. We know that these politicians, these senators that go on recess every month, we know they're not working hard for the American people. And you see Shepard Smith laughs at him and says, this is all Washington talk. So it starts off that way. Let's go ahead and continue.
Earlier, Senator, that a deal is very close, but there is still no bill. Republicans are demanding protections from lawsuits for big corporations. Democrats demanding help from workers in the public sector and money for state and local that Republicans are blocking. Both sides say they want direct payment for disaster victims, but there is not a penny in direct payments in your proposal. Why not?
Well, let's talk. Shepard, basically, this is truly an emergency package.
But there's not money for direct payments to people in your bill or in your plan, or is there?
There is not, because the emergency basically is more with the people who are unemployed, who don't have a job, who don't have a check, who have nothing. This is an emergency to get us through the first quarter, which will be the most difficult quarter that we've ever had. And that.
All right, so this is a talking point with the Gang of Eight. This is not the first time that you've heard this, that this is for the people who are really, really suffering. This is not for everyone, basically, is what he's saying. But the reality is, when you're looking, and he's talking about people who are unemployed and people who have jobs should be fine. He's going to talk a little bit more about that, and then I'll chime in when he says that. But they really want to focus it on, this is relief. We're just trying to get to the next step. And the next step, I guess, would be a larger stimulus package. But come on, we've been waiting for 7 months. We haven't gotten anything. And you think that there's going to be another stimulus package? Highly unlikely. If Mitch McConnell remains the leader of the Senate, we're not seeing another stimulus package, and everyone knows that. So it's just amazing how these politicians will just say this stuff and think that we're going to believe it after waiting for 7 months and not seeing anything.
That's all we've done. They wanted 1.2, 1.3 was the bottom line the Democrats would go to. The Republicans wouldn't get off of 500. We finally have moved everybody to say it takes $900 billion to get us through the most challenging times.
Senator, I don't know who us is, because that doesn't get money to the people. You know, when a hurricane strikes in the Gulf South, the government rushes to help. When fires ravage California, the government steps in. We're 9 months into the biggest health crisis and resulting financial crisis in 100 years, and the federal government has done nothing for the victims in 257 days. Why? Why is Washington failing the people? What's the reason?
What about the $3 trillion that was sent out, Shepard, in March?
That was 257 days ago. They're out. Rent is due. They can't buy food. We have the longest food lines of my lifetime in America, Senator. Why isn't there help from Washington?
Basically, we have people running out of unemployment checks. They got nothing. The things are basically closing now because of the rampant COVID expansion. We're trying to meet that emergency need. This is not a do-all, end-all. Joe Biden says this is a down payment. He comes in as our president in January. He'll put basically another package to take us out of this mess that we have. We've got to bridge that gap. That's all we're trying to do. We couldn't even get any of our caucuses on anything. After the election, we said something has to be done. They're not moving, Shepard. We are.
But
we're out there doing something and putting it on the line. We gave you about 90% of a bill. We have two things.
There is no bill.
There's not a Democrat or
Senator,
Republican.
with great respect, I've always enjoyed conversations with you for more than a decade. But the open secret in Washington is there is no incentive to work together. You get votes by fighting with the other party, and you get money from special interests. The people have no power. And wait now, and it's been like that for a long time. That's a broken system that even a pandemic that's killed 280,000 Americans cannot shake up. Do we need a new system? Because this isn't working.
Yeah, I agree with Shepard Smith. We have a broken system. You have politicians, the way they get votes is by attacking the other side. And so all they're going to do is say, it's their fault why we don't have another stimulus package. It's their fault why we don't have stimulus checks. And they just go back and forth, blame each other. And that's how they get votes. And that's how they get businesses, corporations to fund their campaigns and things like that. I mean, it's our system is not working for the people. You have politicians that they have so much power now. All they do is just blame each other and never get anything done. We watched this whole process for the last 7 months. And now all of a sudden, Joe Manchin's like, this is an emergency. We have to get all this stuff done. People are losing their jobs. And they've been losing their jobs for the last 7 months, even more, even before then. But at least we could say, well, we had the CARES Act. That got through. But that was what Shepard Smith said 257 days ago. And we haven't seen anything since then. And so Shepard Smith is right. Our system is broken. And the fact that Joe Manchin is right now, he's just saying, well, you know what? We just need a bridge. And then Joe Biden's going to come in with a new proposal. What's going to be different? It's actually going to be worse. If Mitch McConnell wouldn't do something for President Trump now, do you think he's going to do something if he's still the majority leader? And it's likely he's going to remain majority leader in the Senate. Do you think he's going to do something for Joe Biden? He's going to do another stimulus package? No. Republicans right now in the Senate, all they want to do is get a small package done now, and they don't have to worry about anything after that. That's their goal. And that's why they're pushing for this. That's why McConnell is saying, hey, we'll do this, this, and this. As soon as it's done, you're not going to see anything. It's over. The vaccine will be here, and they're hoping that the vaccine will be effective and we won't have to go any further with another stimulus check or anything like that.
Well, basically, take the money out of the system. Citizens United, let us know who's throwing money at this. There's a lot of things you can fix it. Make it an ethical violation if a senator goes out and campaigns against another senator. Where I come from.
And so, I mean, it's funny. So Joe Manchin's saying all this, take this out, take this out. They have the power to do that. That's their job. They can legislate that stuff out. So they can do reform if they want to do reform. They don't want to do reform because it benefits them. So he's saying, yeah, well, we can do this and we can do that. Come on. I mean, that's like Shepard Smith said, that's Washington talk. They're not going to change anything until we stand up and say, look, this is not acceptable. What Shepard Smith also said, we're in a pandemic right now. This is the worst off we've been. In my lifetime, this is the worst off I've ever seen anything. And we still can't get Congress to come together and help us out in a time of need. Over 280,000 people have passed away, and we're still arguing about, well, I don't think they need direct payments. This is not an emergency. And it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, let's go ahead and continue.
If I come to work every day and you try to get me fired, we're going to talk in the parking lot after work. That's where I come from.
Well, everyone in Washington, Senator, everyone in Washington is still getting paid. These people are not, this is not a stimulus. This is emergency disaster relief for people who don't have jobs through no fault of their own. And even your compromise today, which isn't yet a bill, provides no direct payments to the victims of this disaster. We don't even have enough mass.
Shepard, you're talking about payments to people that have a job and a check.
So how out of touch is that? You're talking about payments, direct payments for people who have a job and a check. Guess what? Some of those people who still have jobs have had to take pay cuts, or they're doing furloughs, or they were laid off and were able to find a job in the last couple of months because obviously the government didn't step in the last 7 months, so they had to find something else to, other means of income, but they're not making the same amount of money they were making before. And he's just talking about, okay, well, you know what? If you're unemployed, we're going to help you out with that $300 per week. But if you have a job, you don't need a stimulus check. That's what he's saying. And what about the people who are unemployed right now and they're getting hopefully get the unemployment? They're still going to want a stimulus check on top of that. That will help them a lot more. They don't have a job anymore. And you took the $600 plus up off. So now it's $300. So this would help them. This stimulus direct payment would help them and help the family. So let's just continue.
That's what you're talking about. We're talking about people that's got nothing. They're getting thrown out of their homes. They have nowhere to go. Their food substance is running out. We're backfilling all of that.
But we don't even have a bill yet. There's no indication.
Yeah, you're getting close to one. We're the only ones doing anything. Nobody else is doing anything.
You must understand the people's frustration.
We'll work all night tonight, Shepard. We've been working every night, 16, 18 hours.
You think you'll have something that'll pass tomorrow or the next day?
Well, basically, they extended it for next week. We're going through this thing, and we're going to have it done. We will. No one thought we would have anything that we brought out today. We brought out 90% of a bill and showed you line by line. That's called basically a scheduled overview of what we're doing. And then they'll put the legislative language to it. And the bill becomes basically a bill, hopefully the first of the week. And then you vote on it.
All right. So another thing that I want to talk about, because I just showed a clip of Joe Manchin earlier this week. He spoke on Sunday. He said, looks like we'll have the language in the beginning of this week. We never saw that language. It's now Thursday. We have not seen that language. And he just said now that we probably won't see the language until early next week because they did the extension. So we're not going to have a government shutdown tomorrow. However, we're still looking at a situation where they're kicking it down the road. They're kicking this language down. We don't even know exactly what's in this proposal. We know the amounts that they're talking about, but we don't know how they're going to implement this. And so, I mean, Shepard Smith did an excellent job of really pinning Joe Manchin on this whole situation. What's going on with direct payments? This is a situation that people need help. Not just the people who are unemployed, but some people who are still struggling. They all need help. And if you want to target it, that's fine. I understand that. But people need direct payments too. And not the $600 that Mitch McConnell and Stephen Mnuchin are talking about. They need the full $1,200. This is absolutely ridiculous. You have Canada giving $2,000 reoccurring payments, and we're fighting just to get to $2,000. We had $1,200 stimulus check. Now they're talking about $600. And the whole span of this COVID-19 situation, we might be in a situation where we're only looking at less than $2,000 direct payments. And you have countries doing that every month. This is a broken system. I agree with Shepard Smith. We're broken. We need to fix this. We need to let Congress know this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable behavior. I hope Shepard Smith does some more interviews with some other Congress people. I highly doubt it, though, because these Congress people are going to be running now. They're not going to want to do his show because they don't want to have to answer those tough questions. And if you've been for direct payments this whole time, and now all of a sudden you don't want direct payments anymore, or that's not an emergency, you should be ashamed of yourself. Just like I said yesterday in the video, you should be ashamed of yourself because you know that either you were just saying that because of the election or you just don't want to help the American people right now. You have more than just people who are unemployed suffering right now. You have a lot of people working part-time. You have a lot of people who've had to take pay cuts. You have a lot of people that are doing furloughs. They need assistance as well. That's all I have for you guys. If you guys have any questions, post them down below. Let me know what you guys think about this interview. I think it was a really good interview. It reminds me of the Wolf Blitzer, Nancy Pelosi video, but I think this was even better. So let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.